but it just sucks because it doesn't. Yeah, it just sucks
Yeah,
in bed.
and then it's repeat cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can understand that completely.
So yeah, it's just there's so much that people don't know that they don't see. I mean, and yeah, it's just thank God. I mean, there are people who have the tremors with different areas. Some people's head shakes. I've
Right,
got it in my arms and hands, and then my knees go back and forth like that.
right.
I mean, if you ever saw Ozzy Osbourne in some of his interviews, his legs were always shaking.
Yeah,
Same
I do
thing.
remember that. Because there's an interview where he's showing off the tattoos that he got on his knees, and even in that interview that was in the 80s. He's shaking his knees pretty, and a lot of people thought that it was kind of ADHD or whatever, and maybe it was something else that might have been missed at that point. So, you know, 2020 hindsight kind of thing, but
Yeah, but see,
you
there was
know,
I was one of them because I knew Ozzy had Parkinson's because I knew what to look for. I
right,
posted that on somebody said, and I was like, I already knew he had Parkinson's. You know what I
right,
mean? Everybody else was like, "What's wrong with him? What's wrong with him?" I could see it. You know what I
right,
mean? I could
right.
see it. I mean, I actually twice. Well,
Hi, Gabby.
kind of three
Yeah,
times. I claim three, but I interviewed Ozzy in my radio career,
yeah,
and back in the day, he was great. I mean, I
yeah,
think he was just all messed up on the
yeah.
other things, but
So yes, substances.
but Gabby, hi. Sorry, I didn't see that. But yeah, it's just like I knew, and there's people that I walk by and they'll say hello, and I'll greet them. Hi, how are you? Do you have Parkinson's? They just know. They know.
Yeah,
People know, especially
right,
those who have it.
right.
Because when I walk, man, it's not pretty, but I force myself to walk. I don't get in that
Yeah,
wheelchair. I force
right,
myself to walk, and it's all messed up.
right. It's understandable. I get that completely. It's you want your you want your freedom to a degree. You want it to feel as normal, not normal, but as you as possible, not confined. And that I completely understand.
I mean, I've accepted it, and it's all good, and it is what it is, and I make fun of it. You know
Right,
that. I mean, we've talked about that before, where you just got to make fun of it. You can't take it
right,
seriously. You know,
right.
it's like that. I had somebody, throughout this and all. I've been a para athlete through all this, and
Right.
somebody said, "Well, why don't you go out and try the air rifle shooting?" And I said, "That's a great idea. Give the guy with Parkinson's who doesn't have any balance a gun." And with BBs in it, and let's see
Yeah.
how many of the crowd we can hit. But you got
It
to
sounds
make
like
fun
fun.
of the stuff. You can't.
Yeah, yeah. You can't. For people like me and you, we can't help it. You know what I mean? We can't. I can't. No,
Yeah,
you're just loading me up for jokes. You know what I mean? It's
because
one of
I
those
don't want
things.
to. I listen. I don't want anybody to feel sorry for me. You know what I
No,
mean?
not at all. Not at
I
all.
mean,
That's
that's
how I
just not
am.
who I am. I don't want you to feel
No.
sorry for me. It's all about let's smile, let's laugh.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I know it makes people uncomfortable. I say jokes about Parkinson's disease and my shit, and people sometimes
Yeah.
are just like,
Yeah.
yeah,
But Am I supposed to laugh at that? Yes, sir. You're
Right?
supposed
Yeah,
to
yeah,
laugh. I'm
yeah.
making a joke
Exactly. Am
about
I
it.
supposed to? Yes, absolutely laugh.
Yeah, 100%. Welcome back, Gabby. Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
wait.
it's just like when I do my lives, my hands are shaking and shit like that, and I'm hitting wrong buttons sometimes. I'm loading the wrong song on, but it's just like,
Yeah,
oops, sorry guys.
yeah. It happens. You know.
Yeah, you just can't. Yeah.
You
But
know.
yeah, it's been real important to me for me to do the Parkinson's awareness videos this month, and like I
Yeah,
said,
and
I'll
I
document everything. You know what I mean? I mean
right,
it,
and
it
I do appreciate you for that because it's one of those things that what Michael J. Fox did a decent bit for it, but like still not a lot of people know not too much about it, and it's
And the thing about it is, there's a lot of things that you can do to help. With Parkinson's. I mean, exercise is a thing to do
right.
with Parkinson's disease, and that's partly why I do what I do. I play the sled hockey. I do my track and field. I still go out and do things. I mean, my God, I got a video where we went to a rave last year, and
Right.
and I crowd surfed in my chair.
That's awesome.
They lifted me up and I was crowd surfing. Right there. It was just like, yes. But I go out and do things. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
important to go out and do things and be active.
Yeah, you have to kind of try and stay active as best you can. And I'm starting to get back into activities, if you will, for my mind to help keep me active. So I get that 100%.
I mean, it's like they've got the boxing for
Yeah.
Parkinson's. And the thing about it is I thought, you know what? I mean, unfortunately, there's more and more people that are younger and younger that are getting this. They're not, it's not a thing if you're 80 or 70 and you get Parkinson's disease. I mean, people in
Right.
their 30s are getting it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But anyways, I see all these people doing the boxing with Parkinson's, and I watch them, and they're hitting the bag, they're hitting the hand things, whatever. And I thought, don't mess with the guy with Parkinson's. But guess what? He might fight himself out of a wet paper bag, but he ain't get fighting out of a dry paper bag because he can't hit hard enough, and he's too damn shaky to do it.
Well, there's that.
But
Yeah.
it is a good exercise, and it's great for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so given that, there's the question: is there? Do, I know some of it could be genetic. Some of it, thank you, Gabby. Some of it could be genetic factors. Do they really know what causes it at this point?
They have been trying to link it to see if it is a genetic disease. They don't have the exact pinpoint to say yes,
Right.
but they have done studies in the last probably 4 to 5 years of that. They want to
Right.
know. So
Because it's something that's relatively. I'm not. It's not new, but it's the research on it is still relatively new. I think, kind of not to, be kind of, uh, you know, or not pessimistic, but Michael J. Fox is kind of the one that when he was diagnosed, that kind of opened the floodgates on you know, a lot of the research on it.
well, there was money to
Sadly,
do research. You know what
there
I
you go.
mean?
That's what I was getting at.
I mean, it was
But
actually in there was actually a doctor. It was Dr.
yeah,
Parkinson that
yeah,
wrote a thing about palsy in 1755
yeah.
that he wrote that. So
It's been
there's kind of a
around.
thing of it's been around for a long time, or at least but it wasn't until like he started all that stuff. And the thing about it is I've always felt like his, how do I say this? His progression in the disease, the way he's gone about it,